we're getting close to the end of our Boro Chakra inspired project. So I thought I'd come on, and it's just a little easier that way. So a little earlier, I did a little video on bird feeder, and I had gotten a little bird feeder that was, it seemingly seemed fine, but I explained to you in the video why it was not fine. So I kind of share with you the how a little bird got trapped inside of the actual bird feeder. So the bird is fine. The neighbor saw it and let it out. But so anyway, for those of you who love birds like I do, you definitely, trying to be mindful of how you're feeding your birds and taking care of them. I gotta tell you, I haven't done a study or anything, but the other place that I lived at, so I've been at this place about 3 months, right? I guess now we're just starting the 4th month. So I've been for the past 3 months, I've been, and especially for the past 2, I've been more here. Now I did go back there to visit, but I gotta tell you, the pigeons that I used to feed, these little flocks, totally remember me. Like, it just absolutely touches my heart. Anybody studying them can see. I mean, even the neighbors notice, like when I go, they all come to where I lived, and they sit on the top there and they look at me. They're waiting for me to give them food. So the neighbors have taken over to feed them. And of course, probably not as in the same routine I was, but anyway, I'm just so grateful that they're taking care of them. But yeah, so it's interesting to see the amount of time that those pigeons are actually remembering me, as a human. I mean, really, it's amazing. So, our wildlife, I am very inspired by them. I want to do a number of things in the world of art around wildlife. So with that, today we're finishing up, or not finishing up, but boy, we are getting close. We are, if you are new to the channel, first I should say this. First I should say welcome back. If you're coming back, thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments, your, hi from India, hi. I appreciate your insight, your suggestions, just everything, and just the fact being here with me. So if you are new to the channel, we create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. We do a number of different projects, but we surround a lot of our projects around being inspired by historical cultural arts, like Boro inspired, and Boro Sashiko, and so it's really amazing to hear from some of you how you are using Boro Sashiko, or doing your junk journals and adding little pages, meditation pages, by doing your visible stitching, or your Sashiko inspired stitching. And there are so many ways that we can take the method of Boro Sashiko that was used in the 1400s and apply it to today, and just the many things that we can make. It is so seriously exciting. I mean, if I could just do everything that's in my head simultaneously at once, and then I have to quiet it down because I can't. There's just no way. I can't even make the list. And just because I just love it, right? I just love it. So with that, what we're going to do today, for those of you who are not familiar with chakra meditation, and I have been looking to figure out where around here I can get more information, like a little certificate or learn more in depth on chakra, I think it's related to Reiki. And I got to tell you, a lady did, a Reiki healer was in the hospital offering to do Reiki on the patients and on the victim, not victims, but on the patients and on the families. And I was there as a family member in the hospital for my beautiful, loving, beloved mother. And this lady came in and she offered to do this Reiki. I knew that it was premature, that I really didn't even have my emotions in balance. And she was thinking she could get it in balance in that way. But you need to be part of that process. However, she did definitely move energies around in me. There's no doubt it works. It does work. We are all energy. So the chakra, what the chakra meditation says, it looks at energy and just kind of, it's a system of meditation and recognizing the different energies in us. So it starts at like the spinal, just below the spine. Just going to give you a quick recap, which is red. This is red down here. Okay, and this is WIP, so these rows are not complete yet. So red, that is your safety, protection, your survival. You may meditate on, like I'll just give you an example, saying something like, I am safe, I have the right to be safe, and I will be safe, and my space is safe, you know, like that. So the next one is your orange, if you can see it right here. And the orange is creativity, inspiration, a reproductivity also, but the creativity is the one I focus on. And I just, you know, a simple little thing you might say and bring to your awareness is, I am very inspired by my beautiful, loving nature around me. I want to create being inspired by, and you know, like that. Whatever it is that it is for you. The next one, and you can almost see how telling this is. This is empowerment, enlightenment, and confidence. A lot of people associate the yellow with the confidence. It is one many people struggle with. So it's a wonderful meditation. You know, I am confident. I have the right to be confident. I have the right to be empowered. Okay? Because, I mean, you've got to give yourself permission. You've got to work on that. And working on it is just bringing it to your own awareness, which is what the chakras do. There are many other key words. There's much more depth to the chakra. I am not a chakra expert at all, but I would love to be one day. So the next is, you see the green, the dark green, that is compassion. That's this area, that is your heart area, and maybe you want to be more compassionate. This area talks about gratitude, forgiveness, and these are areas that are very difficult for people. And just because you don't forget doesn't mean you can't forgive. But forgiveness is a very difficult one. So that's one. And then the next one is your light blue at the top here. And that's right here, your throat chakra. And that is how you speak. What you speak mindfully and in sync with what you believe to be truth. And not holding back information that could give an illusion of something else, and its comprehension, and a lot of other keywords with that go along with speech. So that's is your throat area. So the next area we're going to work on right here is, now I'm going to show you what I have, is indigo. So indigo is typically, you usually see a blue purple. So you do usually see like a dark blue purple. So I don't have the dark blue, but I have the dark purple. So I'm going to use this as my indigo. Okay, so we got that. I have a needle threaded for the indigo. And the indigo is here. This is our third eye. And I pulled up on the internet on the indigo meditation. So very quickly, above the indigo, the next one we would do is our crown. And that's a beautiful violet, sometimes mixed with yellow. So this is our indigo, our third eye. And I'm going to tell you the science of the third eye, and the scientific and the spiritual and the ancient history. This is so, I gotta tell you, I mean, this gets me like Boro Sashiko inspired the Japanese method of mending, repairing, and with love and gratitude for their family. I wrote a book because that's how this gets me. I love this concept and the idea of the third eye and how it works. But I'm going to just do a little bit just read to you a little bit of highlight of this before we start our, doing our visible stitching and I did have some reservations coming on live to do a beautiful meditation like this, because I didn't want any comments to discourage anyone, but you just stay with me. You can also repeat this video later and listen to it also. So this is from the website called, I'm probably not pronouncing it, so I'm going to spell it. But it's S as in Sam, UZIECHEEL.com. Zuzekiel, okay, .com. And it talks about, so the color for the chakra for the third eye is indigo. And it just gives a little bit here. It says, indigo is the color of the deep mind, of the deep midnight sky of Denham, of intuition and perception, and is said to be helpful in opening the third eye. Now, this is not by any means a way to be opening the third eye. I'm just reading some information. So I think, to do that, you want to do it in a very guided manner with somebody who really is, doing it in a very safe manner, because the third eye can open pathways into the invisible realm, and you don't want to frighten yourself and get to a place where you're thinking, oh my God, what did I do? Because you do have complete control over it in the way of whether you want to be there or not be there. So when I think of indigo, I am taken back to the indigo dye vats of Nigeria that are sunk into the earth that I saw many years ago in Kano in northern Nigeria. The deep blue of indigo is a natural color and one that is often seen in Japanese textiles. It is, yes, the color of denim, okay, a dark denim, dark blue denim. Purple. Now, indigo is the color of the sixth chakra, our third eye, or brow chakra. So it's right up here, in between your eyes, which is the gateway to our intuition. How many of you just automatically, like, sometimes know things, or you have a vision come to your mind that you're not even thinking of, and most of us don't even pay attention to it? And I try to pay attention to it, but I realize sometimes I don't. And then later on, this thing actually happened. It's all wild. So the sixth chakra is where we learn to interpret, perceive, see, understand, and recognize ourselves and the world around us, both accurately and authentically. It is where illumination, visualization, imagination, dreams, insight, and intuition meet, all here. And this is actually based on the pineal gland. I don't know if they're going to talk about that. And I'll read a little bit more and then we'll start stitching. So the third eye says to us, I see. and shows us the way. Intuition is a spiritual faculty and does not explain, but simply points the way. Okay, let's see here. And the third eye, third eye formula for enlightenment is imagination, intuition, insight, and inspired action. There's your inspiration right there. Okay, here. So apply this method to your life and bask in the glow of the living light. So the sixth chakra is the area that flourishes, I find, when I take time to trust my inner voice. I am using my imagination and I'm taking action. So I'm going to add to that a little bit, because for me, I've noticed when I do my chakra meditations, I kid you not, everything comes in harmony, in alignment. So a lot of that intuition is here too, your heart. Okay, and I am in the flow and I'm embracing change. When we are fearful of change, of stepping into our light and our power, this can be an indication it is time to put some time in daily to our third eye. So in other words, you've got a lot going on in your life. There are major changes. We have changes all the time in our life. No, and we'd rather, and some people really are blessed where they have very little changes, but many of us, unbeknownst to us, have to go through some changes, or, and it's not like we want to do them, but we have to. Okay, you have to. If you're going to grow, or if you need to, for example, it says some of us are fearful of change. And the most recent example for me would be moving, right? From one place, I was like all kinds of emotions, but I was staying focused, having faith, meditating, listening to my intuitive self totally, and practicing that. So that takes practice to really be in tune to it, I believe. So here is a third eye chakra meditation for you. You might, okay, and then they have like a little video or something there, go. So now they give 7 ways to meditate, and I'm really going to read the first way, because the other, and then I'm just going to give you the highlights of the other ways, because I think these other ways you might want to do, or you can do a little bit more research on your own with those ways. So meditate. It says, light a candle, take a little time to be still. Maybe you have incense to light, and start with 10 minutes in the morning and try 5 minutes or 10. 10 minutes might seem a little daunting at first. This is true. When you get into it, it's like 10 minutes just goes. But I start with 3 deep breaths and feel myself relax. And then I ask the question, what does my inner wisdom want me to know today? And for a woman of faith, a lot of times I'll say, what would you like me to know, Jesus? Please talk to me. And yes, my inner wisdom, my inner self, what do I need to know today, or from the universal energies? So you can add whatever it is that you want. I totally believe these universal energies are always speaking to us. I'm going to give you an example in a minute. Thoughts will come and go like the wind. Just let them fly. Listen to what your body is telling you. You might be feeling a picture, a sound, or something is there. Like, you'll know. Allow yourself to listen and trust. It could be a feeling. There could be something, and then you have to figure out what that is. You might like to keep a journal beside you and jot down for 5 to 10 minutes, and we will get back to the junk journals. I promise you. I have a viewer who is doing some beautiful things with her junk journal, and I'll share all with you. So allow yourself to listen and trust. You might like to keep a journal, beside you and jot down for 5 or 10 minutes any message you are receiving. This will increase your trusting muscle. Okay, so a couple things before we read the others. I just really want to share this with you. And you tell me if you had any experiences like this. So this is my very most recent experience with the universe, with the universal energies really chiming in. I was driving down the street the other day, going down to the village, and you may have heard the story because I did say it over, I shared it over on TikTok, and I've shared it around the media. So, but a bear, a baby bear, a black bear, because we have in Vermont are black bears. It wasn't like a baby, and it wasn't a teenager. It was kind of like in between. So it was lumbering across the street, running across the street, and what was unusual about it is it was in the morning. So this is not a time. Typically, you would see the bear up and around. It was like mid-morning. This isn't a time really you'd see the bear. It would be maybe sleeping at that point or resting because they were more coming out later in the evening hours and whatnot. But anyway, that bear, so because of the bear, I slowed down. Now, something made that bear run across the street. It could be practicality. It could be just like a neighbor said, maybe it was hungry, or maybe it just want to get across the street. Whatever it was, something made it run. So I slow way down. I'm thinking the mother is nearby because it is a young bear. But anyway, I continue. And very shortly thereafter, I am coming to an intersection. I have a green light. I'm going through the intersection and coming from this perpendicular to me, fire engines. And in the second lane, in the first lane, there were all these cars. This fire engine did not see me. There's no way. And I pressed on the brake super fast, and because I was just about through that intersection, would have been in the line of that fire engine, and I put my hand on the horn. I mean, this is how seriously close. If I wasn't that close, I wouldn't have put my hand on the horn. The bear, in essence, just that bear running in front of my car, slowed me down. If I was 1 second ahead, there would have been, I guarantee you, I wouldn't be here talking to you about it right now. So I do believe in the universal energies. Maybe that bear heard the fire engine coming from a distance because they have great hearing. But whatever it was the universal energies in the time and space. I could have been in the line of that fire engine, no problem. So I'm grateful that I am here talking to you about it today. So that's my most recent example of, I believe anyway, the universe working in perfect time and space and saving my life. Let's put it that way. So now the other ways to meditate could be, some people do use the oracle cards. It says the use of oracle cards. I am a woman of faith. And you're like, whoa. And I have used oracle cards. You're like, well, no, Carmella, you shouldn't do that. Like I said, my mind is open. I totally believe there's so many things that we just don't know. Oracle cards that are positive and help challenge our thinking. Not oracle cards. If I have a set of oracle cards, which I do, and I don't use them, because every time I read them, I get great anxiety. No. The universe, in my world, God does not want us to be feeling more anxiety. But they want us to, be aware, be safe on our path, have positive outcomes, manage the outcomes that are not necessarily positive, but in a way that's healthy. So the other thing it says here, listen to your gut, do tummy testing. This is a big one. This is huge. I'm going to read this. This one, I place my left hand on my tummy, yes, the bare skin, and then I ask for answer yes or no to anything I want an answer to. Okay, that's not how I do it. I'll tell you how I do it. And then it says, A, yes, is when I feel my tummy breathe out. If it is no, my tummy stays still. I also sometimes use a crystal pendulum. Okay, so this person is talking about going into a deeper type of meditation with the stomach of the solar plexus area. I will notice immediately tightness, okay? So, you know, like your stress or your gut is stressed. That to me is speaking to me. And many times that's involuntary. So that's a very simple way I use. So another meditative tool is visualization. And we're talking again, if you're just joining us for the third eye, I hope everyone is doing well out there. I welcome you. I thank you for being with me today, this Saturday afternoon. So the visualization is use your middle finger on your third eye, in the middle of your forehead, and massage it. Oh, it says massage it. You can also tap, like I'm tapping. Massage it and see it opening, and like you eyelid opening, and be aware if you have, and it doesn't finish the sentence for some reason. But visualization, yeah, I mean, you may get it from this area for sure. However, you can visualize, you can instigate a visualization of the ocean, and like all the waves are going and everything's, you know, moving, because that's all the noise and stuff in your mind. And then watch it kind of quiet down, let it quiet down, and visualize the water being nice and still and clear. And when it gets there, your mind is void of all these other distractions. And with that, at that point, then yes, new thoughts and ideas and inspirations can pop up. They come up. And another way to meditate is, it says, listen to the intuitive guided meditations. So they're all over the internet, and they're really wonderful. And then it says read books. Okay, so that is, so the meditation. So those are some ideas on how to meditate for your third eye. So again, for those of you just joining, the color is indigo, but I am using dark purple because I don't have an indigo on me in the lacy crochet thread. So with this particular Japanese utility apron, what we're going to be doing after we finish this pocket area, which I may have to finish this today after we do this meditation stitching, because what I want to do are the little grids of chakra colors on it. So I'm trying to get in a good position here. You want to be careful with your straps. So if you have any of you made your meditative, or I should just say your utility apron, or want to make a utility apron. So what we're doing is, what I'm doing is stitching in the upper layer of the pocket. I just do a couple of stitches on the side here because I want to close it in a little bit on the top. That's all I'm trying to do. And so I'm going to go along here and see if I can have the camera on the stitches I am doing. I'm going to bring you along. So I'm grabbing a number of stitches. Now with Sashiko stitching, you're pushing the needle through as much as possible. It is not embroidery, so you are not pulling, you are pushing the needle through. Now this indigo, or this is a dark purple, indigo is purple and blue, is going to seriously make this pop. You'll see in a few minutes. But look, I grabbed even more than the 3 or the 4 stitches. And when I do this, I put it down typically after every other stitching, and I just give it a little tug to kind of make it a little snug. So with our indigo stitching or meditation, is we're kind of focusing on our third eye. We're focusing on our third eye. And many times when you get into this and you practice it, opening your third eye, you will definitely get visions. And I would say anybody, excuse me, who is new to this, you definitely want to get reference from someone who knows very much what they're doing. You know, it has a certificate. Maybe you take some lessons. But the thing of it is this: the third eye is based on your pineal gland that is in between your right and left brain lobe. It is real. And it activates, when it activates, it is believed now, not just for a couple of years, this is centuries old. This is studied by gurus, Buddhas. I mean, they know what they're doing. But in my own little way of using chakra for the last 30 some odd years, absolutely have had visions, premonitions, dreams, clarity. I am not, cannot control that. I may be thinking something or ask a question or be pondering something, and then it can be during the meditation, or it could be maybe a day later, you know, or at rest. Many times it's at rest. So anyway, with that, it is a wonderful way to strengthen your spiritual self. And so I'm going to put this through, and then I got to put this down for a moment. And I just have to make sure that I am going through my 2 layers, because at the end of this row, that's what I'm doing. I am doing 2 layers, and I just want to make sure in the pocket that I'm in the right, I'm doing this correctly. Now, I am part of an event that I'm going to be giving you some detail on this next week, and that event is offering to give us sewing lessons, and all of us, and we're all different levels, different experiences. Now, because Boro Sashiko is based on hand stitching, I really love to work with the hand stitching and keep it very humble, right? I'm not out like trying to create a fancy designer collection, and I think that's wonderful that people do that and can do that and want to do that. A lot of my artisan friends are doing that, but a lot of us are yes, working with recycled fabrics and doing that. So I don't mind. Yeah, I would love to know how to sew better. Now, with the sashiko stitching, though, I will tell you, the imperfection of the running stitches is what makes it so appealing to me, anyway. So now, when you first start your visible stitching, I have shown in many of my videos, just lay the piece of fabric down. You don't have to try to hold it like this right away, right off the bat. You can lay it down on the table, absolutely. It makes it easier to get orientated to grabbing or doing 2 and 3 stitches at a time, and keeping your fabric where you want it. So when you get a little more used to it and you pick it up like this, and then you can just do whatever you do, 3 or 4, And with the longer, that's why the needle is longer. When you're using a sashiko needle, it's long, or your embroidery needle, you want a longer. You don't want a short embroidery needle. And it's got to have a little sharpness on the tip, or else, right, you won't be able to do your stitching. It will be too blunt. You won't be able to get through. So with this purple or indigo, the meditation of just focusing on the third eye, like the location of it right here, and clearing your mind. Ask a specific question is a really, really wonderful way to meditate, because a lot of times these questions you ask may be associated with a problem, not just like curiosity, oh, what's going to happen here and there. No. A problem, an issue, a challenge, something maybe you initially perceive negatively. You want to gain more perspective. You want to gain more depth. You want to not stay in a negative place. You want to be able to move on this earthen journey in a positive manner. So now we're almost done with this. So I'm just going to, again, I've got to kind of turn it a little bit and just make sure I have both of my fabrics where they need to be. And I'm just going to pull this through. Okay, so that is the beautiful, beautiful third eye meditative. I'm going to pull that out. But look how the purple automatically makes the beautiful light blue and green. It kind of makes it show up, you see? And like we did down here, we did the horizontal and the vertical stitching. So I'll be doing different stitching up here. Maybe I'll come back around with you, or maybe I'll just show you after I'm done with it. But this is the pocket, and you can see the pocket is now falling much more nicely. And when this is all stitched, up here, this will be lovely, because then we'll have a few more stitches here. So I don't know if that's the absolute correct traditional sewist way to sew the pocket, but that's how I did it, because I sewed the pocket on. So with that, I thank you for being with me this afternoon. I hope you're having a beautiful Saturday. And yeah, check out the video. I'll put the link in here, but it's over on Mella's. No, it's not on Mella's. It's on Vermont Sun and Shade. And it's a really short video, but I show you in my backyard the new bird feeder I got, the difference between that bird feeder and the other one I had, and then the other bird feeder I gifted my neighbor with. So, and we're outside, it's lovely. So come along with me over there, and that's on Vermont Sun and Shade. That's my side channel, and I'll put the link in here. But thank you again so much for being with me. I send you love and light. I hope that this helped. Let me know if it did, or if it didn't, or if you like more of the meditation videos. I would like to be able to get a video editor again, so I can put some music and just stitch, so we can work that out too. So with that, you have a beautiful, beautiful day, and we'll see you in the next one.